DOTE.
Welcome to the next top tip, and this is a short one just showing you how you can use an alternative, a variation of the Mondadian conventions to have a more proportional sense of timed intervals. And I'll just show you what that means. Maybe you're familiar with the Mondadian conventions, maybe not. So they are rather complex, and it's quite a task to be able to use them to transcribe. But we support it completely within DOTE versions 5.0.1 of the conventions. So what we can see here is these are all the subtiers that have been defined for the different speakers or participants. And then what happens as you go down, you see we have, this is a neighborhood here where there's a head, a primary speaker, and then there's a translation subtier, and then a bunch of action subtiers. But what happens is sometimes you have no speaker that's speaking, and so you need to mark off here in the head, this is the head of this neighborhood here, the timed intervals, such that you can mark off the alignment symbols for when actions occur. So there's 0.2 seconds, and then something has been happening, and then it's to do with gaze, and it moves to the blocks away from where it was before. And we can see it was actually at P2, so looking at P2 switches to blocks and then continues looking at blocks until the next time it changes. So these are non-proportional timed intervals. These are standard pause markings with single brackets 0.2, 0.3, and we'll see down here that we have them inside a speaker's turn here, and if we go down we have it down here 1.2. So you can see here they look exactly the same length visually when you look, but normally when you have a speech then we tend to see this in terms of most alphabetic systems of writing, that the timing of what's happening is somehow graphically mapped onto how speech is emerging in terms of phonemes to graphemes. So here the graphemes representing speech can tell us something about time and incidence of when something happens. So we need to do that also here. But that's proportional, semi-proportional there, but it's not proportional in these timed interval lines. So what we can do is maybe switch to another alternative system which we support. For example, here, if I just delete these, and now we need to have a timed interval which is proportional, what we can do is if you press Control Enter, we have this 0.1 second. And if you choose that and then autocomplete, you'll get this symbol, which is our symbol we're using for a timed interval of 0.1 second. We could copy that, and because you might be able to get it's a standard Unicode symbol, it's not an emoji, and then this one we would have to have 0.3 must mean 3 of these. And now notice that it's now not lined up because these are actually proportional. This is a very short time interval. If we click here and fix, then it will fix that, so we get some sense of the timing in relation to those two. Of course, if we go down a little bit here, you'll see when we get to 1.2, then we're going to have 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now it's beginning to look proportional. And then we will have to have 22 of those to make 2.2 seconds. And then DOTE will automatically realign these. You can see it's realigned everything here for you. So you can just do this quite quickly. We haven't yet done it, but we will have a function which allows you to automatically convert between these two, the standard pause intervals versus the proportional timed intervals using this special symbol. And we might also change so that you could actually decide on the symbol yourself. But at the moment it's pretty easy to switch. You just have to reproduce and then let DOTE realign everything for you. I'm just going to go and open up in the Lego demo project which we have. There is a variant that's already been done. If I choose that, and I'm going to discard these changes I've made to that version, you'll see all of them have been changed here. And now we see looks pretty much proportional. You get some sense of the time intervals not only in this type of neighborhood, which is a timed interval neighborhood, but also when there's some sort of speech. You get some idea of pausing, and it's pretty clear where there is pausing happening, or at an interval of time is passing, and how long that is in relation to the actions taking place. So that's just a clue for you about how to move between two systems, the standard version of the conventions, and then a small variation that might be more attuned to keeping the sense of proportionality in the head of a neighborhood. That's it for that tip.